Are you there? You're there. I'm here. You're there. Will the spending never stop? As I said to Mrs. Gonzo at Westfield only last weekend, it's been amazing. What a dramatic transfer window. I like the way they've compressed it down. It's a lot smaller, isn't it? It's a lot tighter. I know those European vultures are going to try and nick some of our players. Well, probably not ours, hopefully just other teams. And they're going to try and nick them. But I like the way it's forced everybody to do their business. And some clubs have been found wanting. Manchester United didn't get all the players that Jose Mourinho wanted. He's been absolutely miserable, Jose. You could see his demeanour. He has not been happy. Pogba wanted to leave. Maybe he still will. Can't see that happening. Tottenham, almost. Oh, it was looking like Tottenham weren't going to sign anyone. But luckily, just by the end, they managed to secure Japanese international and brother of TV celebrity Gokwan by bringing in No One. There you go. Didn't prepare that for long, I can tell you. They did terrible. They did absolutely terrible. It was that thing that Daniel Levy does where he puts a derisory offer on the table and then says, take it or leave it. And that's what he did with Jack Grealish and Aston Villa. But then Aston Villa got new owners. So they were no longer skint. Actually, they had a bit of money. I think they made a couple of signings today. They brought... perhaps his name is McGinn from Hibs. We were rumoured to be after him last season, I think. But we're fishing in a different pond now, my beauties. A very, very different pond. Anyway, so Aston Villa said, no, we're not going to accept that derisory offer. He's our best player. And he's just been too tight to up his offer. So, anyway, Aston Villa didn't need to see him. Tottenham have signed nobody. Absolutely no one, as the gag just went. But I still think they will probably do all right. So that Lucas coming back from is going to be like a new player. But anyway, this evening I am prepared, and I don't just I couldn't find a t-shirt, I couldn't find a tie. So this is one of my old socks from my old five-a-side team. So I've gone all Jim White on you, and I'm ready. I'm ready to talk through everything. And there is an awful lot to talk through. I'm just going to have a little quick look in the live chat just to see who's around and who's not. Oh, blimey. There's loads of you. There's loads of you. Greetings, one and all. Evening, Canning Town then, you naughty little minx, you. Naughty boy. Kojo, Alice, Jamie, Ben, Stanley, Darren, Victor, and Andy. I saw your post earlier, Andy Walsh. On the old Twittergram. Mike's in. He appears Mike has taken up moderator status in the chat. You better watch yourselves in the chat, is all I'm saying. With Mike there. With Mike on Monday there. He is even more officious on a Thursday than he is on a Monday. In fact, Mike, we will drag you in, if you don't mind, in a little while. Maybe you can start gathering the comments and finding out what people are thinking, and then you can come and tell everyone on camera when we invite you in, when I've finished talking, which could be a very long time. I've got to warn you. I've had a double espresso, and I'm hyped. And I'm hyped because of this transfer window. I'm prepared, as I said, and not just with this. I've got the transfer deadline news here, and I've got all West Ham's transfers, and I am going to go through them now for you because it's been a bit unbelievable. So, according to my sources, i.e. the little transfer section on my screen, we have spent 99.4 million. Maybe that's euros. I don't know. But that's quite a lot. We're going to talk about other teams as well, by the way, because I want to talk about Fulham. I think we need to talk about Fulham. But we have signed, let's get this right, Felipe Anderson from Lazio, 38 mil. Issa Diop, 25 million euros, got to be euros. On a centre-back, a young, promising centre-back, Andrei Yarmolenko from Borussia Dortmund, 20 million euros. We have gone very European here, haven't we? I'm not going to convert it for you. We're going to go with euros, or maybe we'll convert it to Hugels later on. We'll talk about him as well. Lucas Fabianski, 8 mil from Swansea. And somebody who is also called Lucas, but spelt very differently, Lucas Perez, only today from Arsenal, 4.4 mil. Maybe a snip. We have shopped very well in the bargain basement. Yes, we spent a lot of money, but there's been some decent shopping in the bargain basement. Fabian Balbuena. I'm sure that's not how you pronounce it, but I like it. Corinthians, 4 mil. Ditto, what I just said. Jack Wilshere, nothing. Free. Well, probably quite costly, but free. It wasn't like nothing from Gumtree. We're going to have to pay him wages and I'm sure a big signing on fee. But also, Ryan Fredericks, same again. I wonder what he's thinking seeing Fulham spending all that money. I'm sure he's very, very happy actually having come to West Ham and seeing us. Today, Carlos Sanchez. It's a very Colombian name. But free. The most Colombian of Colombians. He's free. Outs. Jordan Hugill. Now, this is quite funny actually, because what I'm looking at, so he's gone to Middlesbrough. This has not been updated. We're going to talk about Domingos Quina. Reece Oxford is on here, going out to Borussia Mönchengladbach. Well, that's not confirmed, so I don't know. I don't know what the deal is there. I doubt they know something that everybody else doesn't. What am I on? www.transfermarket.com, apparently. Do they know much? Who knows? Anyway, so Domingos Quina. Well, this has taken a turn up for the books, hasn't it? Can't believe this. Just as it's all being done, there's not been a sniff anywhere. Not a sniff. There's no links in the paper. There's no links buddy in the nose. Nobody knows nothing. And it goes 5 o'clock. I've snuck away from work a little bit early just to get the final little bit. 5 o'clock. Bang. It's transfer window slams. That is the transfer window slamming shut. That happens. And then it's just a little thing. Somebody says, oh, Domingos Quina. It says Watford are trying to close a deal and have applied for an extension to put the deal through for Domingos Quina. Apparently they had actually put the paperwork through before 5 o'clock. Now I'm thinking, well, this is a loan signing. No. As I'm sure all of you know already, that's 1 million, which is more than 650,000 that Barcelona wanted to pay, plus 10% of any additional sell-on fee. And I think there's significant add-ons is the word. So I believe it's for number of Premier League appearances and that sort of thing. But let's just get this into context. And I'm not having a pop here at all. I don't think he wasn't going to get anywhere near the first team because of all the players that we have just listed. But this guy has had a wonderful European under-17 championships last year. He's played in the championships this year as well and was the player of the tournament, as I understand it. Portugal actually won. Was it under 19s? Was it under 18s? Something like that. But he is one of the hot properties in Europe. And we've actually signed one of his teammates, haven't we, early on? He's not in that list, but he's gone into the under 23s. Silva. His name was Silva, I think. But Domingos Quina has gone. But he's gone to Watford. And when I looked at Watford, I thought, well, actually, Watford have not done much business. They have lost a lot of players, really. Well, they've lost their big player in Richarlison. And I then look at the league, and it's a league of haves and have-nots. So listen to this. Listen to this as I click on my mouse. Premier League transfer tracker. Total spend so far, 1.26 billion. Now, I just think that all the other clubs know that the Premier League is a wash of money. The big deal was last season, but this is almost the second year of it. And I think it's taken this for it to drip all the way down and for it to really take effect. And I'm pretty sure when the list comes out of all the top money earners in terms of, they do the top 20 of European clubs, it's going to be mostly Premier League teams. Because look at the type of clubs that are spending big. And it's been a big day for Everton. And it's been a big day for Fulham. I'm gobsmacked by what Fulham have done. So I'm looking at something that says, I'm going to take you through a few players. So this is the most expensive buys in each position. And they've done it almost like a 4-4-2, which is a funny way to do it. Anyway, we'll run with it. This is the Daily Telegraph, by the way. Kepa for Chelsea. Now, his name is longer than that. I've never heard of this bloke. They spent an absolute fortune on him. Mina for Everton at centre-back. Do you remember? He was the dirty one. Tall, he played alongside the Tottenham fella. I think it was Sanchez. Is that another Sanchez? They've got a lot of Sanchez. As I say, it's a very Colombian name. But he was the defensive central defensive partner. Very dirty, nasty in the World Cup when Colombia played England. Well, he was at Barcelona. He's gone to Everton, 28.5 million. Everton been spending. Vestergaard, Southampton, 22.5 million. That went right under my radar. Dalot. Well, for Man United, and that really was Dalot because they signed Fred as well. But right back, Digny. Don't sound right. I've not pronounced that right. I know I haven't. 18.2 million was the most expensive left back for Everton. Jorginho for Chelsea, 53 million. Chelsea have spent some money, really. They've got the new manager in, of course. Keita for Liverpool, 52.8 million. Mahrez for Manchester City, they strengthened quietly, 60 million. It's got a left wing, it's got Anderson at 42 million. And the front two's funny. I don't know why they made it 4-4-2, but it's got Mitrovic at 18.2 for Fulham and a Phobie for Wolves at 12 million, which is probably not their stellar signing. So Liverpool have spent over 150 million. Chelsea have spent over 100 million. Fulham has spent over 100 million. Now, this is a big statement of intent from Fulham, and we are getting into a situation where we have got haves and have-nots. And as we work our way down the list, you'll see exactly what I mean. Sorry, as I just click over here and just take a little look, make sure we're all going well in the chat there. Just have a little look before I keep talking a little bit more. Hello, everybody. All seems good in there. Right, I'll come to that in just a second. So, going back onto this list that we've got here. So, Fulham are spending, just doing everything that they can to make sure they stay in the league, and they will do. So, as I say, you've got these haves and have-nots. Leicester, just under 100 million. West Ham, just under 100 million. Everton, 88 million, something like that. Man United, a bit of a drop-off then. And then you've got Arsenal on 76 million. Then Wolves, but they've spent wisely. So I think they've spent about 60 million. Man City, we know what they've spent, which is 60 million. Then it goes down to Brighton, just over 50. And then all the remaining teams that I'm going to mention now are under 50 million that has been spent in this transfer window. Bournemouth, Huddersfield, Cardiff, Newcastle. What is Rafa thinking? I bet he regrets giving the old V sign to Sullivan, having seen all the money we've spent. Newcastle, Watford, who we've spoken about, Burnley and Crystal Palace. Now, we talk about the money dictating what happens in the Premier League. You'd be absolutely amazed. Well, I would anyway. If the bottom three, the three relegated teams didn't come from, and I'll say them again, Bournemouth, Huddersfield, Cardiff, Newcastle, Watford, Burnley, Palace, Tottenham, you might even be able to add the next two up there, Brighton and Southampton. But it is very much, I think, possibly for the first season ever, we are going to see it really being reflected in how much money the teams have spent, the league positions and the team's worth. And I think having seen West Ham's net worth now, the West Ham team is now worth 293 million euros. That's the team's total transfer market value. Pretty impressive, really, and I just think that's going to be reflected in the teams in the league. So, just going back to those teams, then, Burnley had a fantastic season last season. Have they strengthened? Yes, they have brought some players in. Of course, Joe Hart being one. And he's probably been quite frugal and been quite shrewd, Sean Dyche. But you have to wonder if that is going to cause them a few problems. Are they going to be down there? Palace, you would say that they've spent the least. They have. There's no doubt about it. However, I do think what they have brought in is okay. You know, they've brought in a Mayer who's an attacking midfielder, which sort of counters Kabay going out. And with Zaha is one of the best attacking players in the league on his day. So they do have a match winner there. So maybe that's it might be enough. It's going to be very, very interesting to look at what happens. But here's what I think is going to happen with the Premier League this season. So I think Liverpool and Man City are so far gone that their top four place is cemented. It is. Sorry, Tottenham at bottom. We should all applaud that. Tottenham are so far off the list. They don't even. I'm looking at a Manhattan graph. I think that's what it's called, a Manhattan graph. Tottenham are not there. They have nothing. So if you look at, sort of Liverpool is like the biggest skyscraper in the world. Palace is on the Manhattan graph. It all just goes down. Palace is like a little shed. And Tottenham look like they're burrowing underground. They really do. Which brings me to my point. Liverpool and Man City are so far gone, have such quality, and they've added to it. That's fine. But this normal thing where a few teams run away with it, I just don't think that's going to happen. We don't know how good Everton are going to be. We don't know how good Fulham are going to be. Wolves, Leicester. We don't know, let's be honest, how good West Ham are going to be. We just don't. But what I do know is it's highly likely, and I would expect Chelsea to be better, it's highly likely that the best of the rest, let's say, and I'm going to go with these clubs again, Wolves, Arsenal, Everton, West Ham, Leicester, Fulham, are highly likely to be able to take points off of Tottenham, Chelsea, Man United, which means that the whole mathematics of the league changes. I just think we're in for a very, very interesting season. This is great. This is very exciting. I'm very excited, as you can probably hear. Right, so that's that. Absolutely amazing. What I'd like to know is, and this is what I want you to try and collate, Mike, I want to find out what you guys think in the chat. I want to know which signings are you particularly excited about? What do you think West Ham are going to do? I've been through so much of it in recent videos. I've just for the record, I think that Wilshere, Fredericks are going to be big signings for us. I think Anderson's going to take a little while to settle. Yarmolenko's injury. He worries me. His age and his injuries are a slight worry for me. But when I did see him play, went and watched Wickham game live, the way he linked with Ronaldo, which is very good. Having said that, we've got Antonio back, which I do think is a big thing for West Ham. And so I think that's a massive plus for us. I think him sorting out the centre-backs, Balbuena, looks fantastic. That's a big thing. Having two fit left-backs there is going to be absolutely massive for us. So I'm not worried. It's just, when have you ever seen a team, let's say we've made 10 transfers, when have you ever seen a team make 10 transfers, 8 transfers, and all the transfers are good and work out? Never. It doesn't happen. Some of these transfers aren't going to work out, and that's fine. But I think we've done enough business that we can we don't have to worry about anything. So I want to know what you guys are thinking about the transfer window, and small, give us small bullet points. Who's your favourite player? Who are you looking forward? Are you worried about any one of the players? And whilst you're doing that and writing it down there, we'll get Mike to jump on in a second while he's just running through that. The big thing is Pellegrini. So, excuse me, I just want to sip of my water. Pellegrini is the key to all of this. That was the first piece in the jigsaw. And as I say, I don't think he was even particularly the first choice. I do believe that that Rafa was probably approached first, and he turned it down, and I just wonder, he must be absolutely sick now. But the manager was a statement. That was the first statement. And we bring that manager in, and you know that players are going to want to come and play for him. And we have he's almost encouraged a whole new team. It's 10 players. It's almost a whole team. So you can't buy 10 players and then say that hasn't improved the squad. It's improved the squad hugely in terms of numbers. I'm really, really excited. I cannot wait. I'm just a shame I'm not going to Liverpool. But I cannot wait for the Bournemouth game. See, watch the Liverpool one on telly. Which we'll go into. I think we've got a preview tomorrow, so I'll talk about Liverpool in more depth tomorrow on the preview on the main channel. So 8:30, I'd imagine. So log in, tune in for that one, so to speak. But Pellegrini and his backroom staff, the director of football as well. This is hugely exciting. And whilst I do think we're not going to be challenging for the league, and I don't think we're going to be ripping it up at the start of the season, I do think the fact that we've played a lot of these pre-season friendlies against some of the more robust teams, the English teams, championship teams, is going to stand us in very, very good stead. Very good stead indeed. And just finally, before I dip over to the chat there, it's been huge for us to keep the players that we have. To keep Arnautovic is huge. Bonner was, at the very start of the window, or end of last season at least, was linked with going back to Italy. Was Chicharito happy? He went to the World Cup. Apparently, he was going to have to come back, and Pellegrini was going to have a word with him and almost coerce him into staying. Well, he's done. Chicharito's walking around with a spring in his step. We've not lost Antonio, which was rumoured. Actually, the players we've sold, it's no big deal. I mean, all right, people might be slightly disappointed about Quina going, but he wasn't going to get in the first team. Whilst he's been promising for Portugal at under 17s and under 18, he's not done anything for West Ham. He's not done anything for West Ham. So it's not like we are going to miss him. We might look with some regret. Maybe he becomes a player at 25 years of age. Maybe he is signing for one of the big boys. We might look at it with some regret. But there's no way that you can sign players like Yarmolenko, Philip Anderson, and then have Quina in the team. And someone like Michail Antonio is always worth Premier League goals. Can you say that of a young Domingos Quina? No. But we know Antonio is going to guarantee them. So the players that we've kept and the players that we'd lost, we all expected a fire sale to try and facilitate some of these transfers coming in. We've spent big, and we had to, because look how the Premier League has changed. They had to spend big. And I doubt the owners knew that all this was going to come, that Fulham were going to spend. Who could have foretold it? Everyone thought Wolves would come up and spend the most. Fulham has spent. Only Liverpool and Chelsea have spent more than Fulham. That's how much Fulham are going for it. Look at Everton. They are absolutely going for it. It's now or never. This was the time to spend 100 million, and thank goodness we did, because if we'd have stayed like we were last season, can you imagine? Imagine it now under Moyes. We kept Moyes on, and then all we signed was sort of, whatever people we were linked with, Harry Arter and people like that. I tell you what, we would be staring down the barrel of a gun this upcoming season, because we would now be looking at teams like Fulham going, look at the ambition at these clubs. Actually, it doesn't matter now. Now you can look at Fulham and say good luck to them, because we've done it ourselves. There's no jealousy. I'm not jealous because we've done our own thing. Is our business going to be good? We don't know. Only time will tell. 10 games into the season, we'll know how good our business was. Is Fulham's business good? Again, same rule applies. Wolves, have they signed well? They've got a lot of foreign players in there. How are they going to adapt to the Premier League? It's a pretty foreign league, isn't it? I'm sure they'll do well. But we don't know how well these transfers are going to work out for any team. And you can say that about Everton more than anyone else, who have gone big on transfer deadline day. They have gone massive today. They've signed up Bernard today for free. He was free, wasn't he? The mercenary Bernard, as they call him. Is their manager going to work out? He got relegated with Hull. He seems to be a promising manager. His Watford team got trounced, but at Watford he had his head turned by the Everton job, which he's now got, and then he just took his eye off the ball. Everton fluttered their eyelashes at him, and then his attention was gone, in much the same way as when Redknapp was linked with the England job, and he sort of lost it at Tottenham, when before that he'd been ripping it up in the Champions League. Whew, lot going on. Mental. Maybe there's other points I've not discussed, I've not thought of. I'm going to go and have a look at them all now. Oh, blimey, there's a lot of comments in here. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to look through your comments, but just before I do that, Mikey baby, Mikey boy, where are you? Oh dear, Mike. You'll have to excuse me. This is all very, very technical. I need to find Mike in the chat. He's gone somewhere. Where is he? Mike, send me a message, will you? Send me a message in the chat. I'll send you the link. Then no, I've got you. You have to excuse me. It's all very technical, isn't it? Very excited, Mike. You have an invite, sir. You have an invite. Come and join me. Let me plug me earpiece in while we're waiting for you, and we're going to get all of your opinions, and we'll find out what everyone is saying. Kev Murphy, hello Kev. Scott Ward, David Dobell, relegation for Quina, methinks, David says. Victor Fenn says Perez will be a good signing. Slapper-da. That's a nice name. Antonio can now run his socks off for 60 minutes, and then we have Yarmolenko as a substitute. Fair point. Scott Ward, don't forget to tell us about the fat bird in the cage. Oh dear. Maybe not now. You've got a good memory, Scott. We said it on Twitter. Anyway, yeah. That's flustered me, that one. Canning Town Lane, beer sales will drop. Now people actually want to watch the football. That's right. We won't be going down at 5 minutes before and then staying 5 minutes after. They wait. They may well be right. But don't forget, Len, they've moved your Murphy's stall, haven't they? He's not been happy about that, Len. He found a nice little place where it would go down. They had Murphy's on draft. It was on like one of the little hand carts, little trolley, little tea trolley thing, and they got rid of it. As Alice, I am getting Mike on. We're waiting for Mike. You'll be able to see him on the screen before I can, because I'm now looking at the chat. It's separate screens. I'm getting some new software soon, very soon, and a new bit of kit, which can enable me to do these live streams a lot better and enable us on Hammers Chat to do a lot more live broadcasts to bring you sexy time over the cam. Not that sort of sexy, just sexier stuff, football-related stuff, not that other type of stuff. Of course not. What else we got? Simon Kirby, hello, my friend. Everton spent big, but never replaced Lukaku, who scored 60% of their goals. That's interesting. Have they signed a striker? You got my name right. Thanks, Gonzo. No worries, David. I'm pleased. I get a lot wrong. Flight time says we'll see how good Donkeries. Thank you for bringing that up. Well, I thought he was crap. When England reserves played Belgium reserves, I thought he was crap. I thought we dodged a bullet. I wasn't sure about the fuss. Thank goodness we didn't sign at 30 odd million. Maybe he's good for 12 million, but who knows? Growing perspective. Hello, mate. Where's Gio? Gio will be on tomorrow night. Gio doesn't. These are the ones where I interact with and just do the chat here. Don't get confused with a cup of tea. If you haven't seen it, we did one last night, mate. Go back onto the main channel and watch it. Don't forget, everyone, there are 2 channels. Please do subscribe to both. That's Mike's little catchphrase thing. Where is Mike? Are you there, Mike? He's not there. It's terrible. I don't think we're going to have him. I think he's gone. I think you're stuck with me. I'm very sorry to say. Alice, Gio does have a swimming pool, doesn't he? Did you see him in that video? Swanning around next to the pool. Shocking, really. Shocking. Mike, if you're there, come and join me. I'll tell you what. That's what I'm going to do. Just in case he's watching. You never know who's watching. Where's Mr. B? I'll give him a... Send him one as well. Let's see. Do you know what? It's like fishing. You throw your bait. You throw your bait into the water. Do you end up with any guests? Who knows? Who knows? I've chucked a couple out there. We'll soon see. Got to be better than Sanchez, though, Gonzo. I guess Stan is talking about Dendonka there. Vernon Mars says, waiting for Sunday. 5:30 a.m. start in Oregon. So he's in Oregon in the USA. Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a lot of people, isn't there? Let's be fair. And fair play to all of you that are in pastures foreign, let's say, and get up in the early hours of the morning to watch the games. Mike's putting a dress on, says Stanley. What have we got? We've also got Kev Murphy. I'll be your guest, Gonzo. Kev, I'll tell you what, mate. I don't know if you follow me on Twitter. If you do, send me a message, and we will have you on, mate. This show's about you. This show's about you, all right? So if you've got my Twitter, @GonzoBigNose, what I can't do is go away from this screen and start doing loads and loads of stuff. I've got a link ready. If you did want to join, be very, very pleased to have you on, mate. So if you do follow me on Twitter, then I can send you the link. If you've got Google Hangouts, then you can join. Alice with Gonzo, I'll join you. And it's like, now I know Andy Walsh thinks Mike's got a Tinder hit. Now I know. Let's get more of you involved in future. This is what it's all about. That was me blabbering on for ages. How long have we been going? Half hour, I think. Right, go. Hope Richard Walton. Hello, Richard. Hopefully Drinkwater is on his way. Read my earlier posts is why this can still happen. Richard, I'm not going to be able to do that now, mate. This chat is going like the clappers for once. Not a great analogy, is it, really? Anything with a claret and blue. You can bet I'll be on the halftime live show if you do one Sunday. Vernon, I will talk to Gio about that. I used to like doing the halftime shows. Halftime live. Better than listening to Robbie Savage. Got to be, innit? Got to be better listening to me and Gio than Robbie Savage and some other numpty. Yeah. Anyway, they got more hair. He's got more hair, a lot more hair. Just having a look through the comments here. All right, that's yeah. So yeah, lots of reasons why Mike's not made it. Do you know what? I've just been I think I have been blown out here. I've been completely and utterly blown out. I'm just going to have a little look. Let me just check my timelines and things like that. See if anyone else is around. No, I think you're stuck with me. I think you're stuck with me. Nobody wants to know. Was far more popular last week. So, what have we got? There are 2 Vernons who support West Ham. Yes, it seems so. Alice, howdo, mate. Don't splat or twa. Any ideas? We'll get into it. We'll get into it. All right. We'll sort it out. Alice, you know, you follow our stuff so much. We'll have a conversation during the week and we'll work out how to get you on. Love to get you involved because we, absolutely love your support. You watch all our videos, always involved. Stephen Spraggs, that's Bowling Badges. That's Cockney Hammer. He does our news roundup. I've said this before. Hammerschat.com. Go there every morning. Condenses all the newspapers. It's going to be fun tomorrow. And just read all the West Ham stuff. Hello, mate. By the way, Graham's Perspective says Mike is evil. He doesn't love us or Gonzo. This is becoming apparent, isn't it? Gary Page. Oh, thank you, my friend. Are you back? Are you back from holiday? It was it Dominica? Was he in Dominica? I think he was in Dominica. Sivan, I think is that Sivan? I've got that right. Sivan. I'm going to go for this. Raj Kumar. Sivan Raj Kumar. Is that a Sri Lankan name? Have I got that wrong? It might be a Sri Lankan name. I've spoken about Spurs, Sivan. I've spoken about them. They've done little or no business. It's not going to the end of the world for them. I do think that Lucas will be like a new signing for him. But I just think Daniel Levy's got his comeuppance. That's what I think's happened there. I think he's tried to play stingy for too long. And this is not the window for stingy. This is the window for big spending. And he's been outspent by everyone. And I mean everyone. All the other Premier League clubs. Gary Wells, hello there, mate. Okay, Gary. Listen, I'm not going to lay the boot in, mate. I actually feel a bit sorry for it. I shouldn't really. You're a Man U supporter. I never feel sorry for someone with as many Champions League and league titles as you. But that Mourinho don't play the good football that you're, excuse me, bit of indigestion, that you're used to. What else have we got? Hello there, Chris. Mark Sherburn Brown. We know Mark very, very well. He says in the light of this transfer appointment, and manager, have the board now been forgiven? Not yet, mate. Not yet. It is Sivan. It is a Sri Lankan name. There you go. Also, mate, very, very welcome. Maverick Wu doesn't like naked volleyball. There you go. Top 4, FA Cup and 10th. I'll go for FA Cup and 10th, mate. Who else have we got? Gary's back. Chris Morris says he knows. You know the T-shirt. Graham Morris, you know the T-shirt. If you know, you know. And you know. Vernon Harvey, he's having a conversation with the other Vernon, I think. He's from Vancouver. Scott Ward, hello there, Scott. Hold on. I think we've got someone coming in. We've got someone coming in. You sneaky, what's it? Sneaking in on the chat. How are you, Ian?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Yeah, mate, I'll just turn you up a little.
Yeah, I can hear myself repeating. And I don't mean the... I had a roast dinner with no roast potatoes. That's what I've had. I'm off the white carbs, they call them. I'm off the white carbs. What's the stone? Do you know? Someone in the chat know. Do you know what this T-shirt is, Ian?
I can only say the very top. Lean back a bit. Flash.
Yeah. What's this T-shirt from?
You're sponsored by a cleaning product now, are you?
No. Anyway, tell us about the transfer window, mate.
Wasn't bad, was it? I was quite pleased we got Perez over the line today.
Yeah.
And I mean, all in all, I think as per your shout from the other day, I've never known a window like it. Just by a country mile, best thing that we've ever had. Absolutely brilliant.
Well, it certainly has been, mate. I'm disappointed you don't know what this T-shirt represents. Very disappointed. Where's my man? Graham Morris knows. Chris, I don't know how to pronounce that name. Taspis. Chris Taspis. Hope I got that right. I'll tell you what, Alice. You old schmoozer, you old schmoozer. Right. Okay. Tell us then. What about these other clubs, Ian? Tell us about these other clubs. What about Fulham? What about Wolves? Everton? What's going on?
To be honest, I don't know too much of what's gone on today. I know Bernard, or whatever his name is, has gone to Everton, I believe.
Just plain old Bernard will do for us, Ian.
Did they get the Colombian guy centre half in the end?
They did.
They did. So that's a couple of good signings. So they're obviously just trying to keep up with us, and they'll fail miserably. But yeah, I think Wolves have done well. Spent quite a bit of money. They're gonna. They've pretty much bought their security, I reckon, for next season. I just don't think they're going to be a relegation threat at all.
You know, Fulham have spent more than Wolves. I don't know if you've obviously missed the last bit.
Yeah, so I've literally been out. I just literally walked through the door and my Twitter pinged with your link in. So I've not caught any of your shows so far, mate.
Oh well, I don't know what. Yeah, that's a sorry state of affairs. Okay, well listen, I'll tell you now. They've spent the third most, Fulham. Liverpool, then Chelsea, then Fulham. Fulham spent over 100 million. They got mad today. They bought another midfielder for 30 million. They've gone absolutely mental. They've been splashing the cash left, right, and centre, mate. They're really looking. Well, they've done fantastically well. Absolutely fantastically well.
Yeah, I think if nothing else, it's going to make for a stunning season coming up, and I think it's going to be the league's going to kind of be divided in two, in as much that I can see you've got probably 10 to 12 teams that have all now got really good squads that are going to be fighting out for those top spots, and then like the rest are just going to be fighting relegation. And thankfully, we're in the top group. But people like Southampton and that. If I was a Southampton supporter or a Newcastle supporter, I'd be pretty worried with the new people who've just come up spending money.
Yeah, there's. I was saying before you came on, I think the league has been split into two in many respects, and obviously the top couple. Before, I think you could see a top six. I think Liverpool and City have just have that much more quality than anyone else. I think the rest, the gap is closing, and then because you won't have seen this, but there are some teams that have spent less than 50 million, and they are Bournemouth, Huddersfield, Cardiff, Newcastle, Watford, Burnley, Palace, and Tottenham. Now take Tottenham away because they have a good team. As it pains us all to say it, they have a good team. They have a good manager. You'd be surprised if they didn't come. One of the bottom three didn't come from those clubs that I've just mentioned. Now the spenders above them, over 50 million, are Brighton, Southampton, who are just over 50 million. Then it goes up. Man City, Wolves, Arsenal, Man United, Everton, West Ham, Leicester, Fulham, Chelsea, and Liverpool. And that what you say about Wolves buying themselves safety, I just think that's what those clubs that I've just read out have done.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely smacks at it, doesn't it? They've bought their sort of long-term security by investing now. Because if they stay up, obviously, with the money in it, you just can't afford not to spend. Because Cardiff, they may prove me wrong, they may do a Huddersfield, but I think Cardiff, I just can't see them even getting to mid-table.
Well, it would be the achievement of all achievements. I've got to say, you put in the context of how much everybody else has spent. If Warnock kept them up, it would be absolutely miraculous, because of disparity now between the haves and have-nots, between a Premier League team and a newly promoted team that doesn't spend. Obviously not a newly promoted team like Wolves and Fulham, but a newly promoted team that doesn't spend is huge. And there's desperation in it. There's desperation in what Wolves have done and what Fulham have done. They're thinking, we've got promoted, this is our one chance, and they've got to grasp the net, and they've certainly done it. I'll just very, very quickly, Ian, I'll just rattle off our signings again, and then I just want a little, if you can, give me let's just do it a little bit. We'll make it a little bit tricky for you, mate. Put you on the spot. I want one word on each player that we brought in. All right, Felipe.
One word.
Yeah, one word. You can do it, mate. You're right. Yeah, come on. You're a seasoned pro on here now. Felipe Anderson.
Brazilian.
Listen. I didn't ask how you'd manicured your undercarriage. All right. Come on. I'll give you 2 words. Then. I'm trying to keep it punchy. Do you know what I mean?
Right, Felipe Anderson, potential.
I think so. A lot of money for potential, but I know what you mean. Issa Diop. It could be him. It could be the transfer itself.
Yeah, it's a deal. I would go for unproven.
Okay. Yarmolenko.
Two words on that one.
Go on.
Potentially exciting.
Oh, I like exciting. I like exciting. Interesting that you used that for him and not Anderson. Okay, the first of two Lucases, Lucas Fabianski.
Good backup.
Yeah, I would have gone with safe for that one. Lucas Perez.
Good signing.
Value for me there.
Yeah, absolute value.
Fabian Balbuena.
Superb, potentially.
Yeah. Jack Wilshere.
West Ham. That sums him up.
I was going to say welcome home, yeah. Ryan Fredericks.
Pacey.
Yeah, definitely a good one. Carlos Sanchez. If you don't know,
Head case.
Absolutely. So, do you know about Domingos Quina?
I have heard that he's gone for $1 million smackers to Watford, I believe.
He has indeed, mate. He has indeed. 10% seller with ratcheted bonuses. So we get a lump sum if he does score some goals in the Premier League, make some appearances in the Premier League. But yes, he has gone on a permanent transfer to Watford, who, as I've already said, has spent poorly. I've not spent very much at all. And, of course, lost their manager mid-season last season, and their current manager is one of the favourites for the sack. So, yeah, Queen has gone. Oxford's expected to go as well. Obviously, as you know, Jordan Hugel's left. Just quickly before I let you go, just anyone you want to speak about or your views on the whole Hugel saga?
I've got to say, I feel a bit sorry for him. It wasn't his fault that they actually went out and bought him, but he was. It was kind of a dead in the water before he started. He was never really going to get too much of an opportunity, I don't think, particularly if he was bought in case we went through the trapdoor. I really felt sorry for the lad. And I don't think he could have worked his nuts off in training, particularly playing under Moyes. He wouldn't have had much of an opportunity. But what is nice for him, apparently he was born and brought up in sort of around the Middlesbrough area, so he's kind of gone home. If they were his boyhood team, he's got a chance to prove himself there. Happy days. And if he bangs some goals in, who knows, we may be able to sell him and recoup pretty much what we pay for him next year. Quina's a funny one though. Again, it's just a shame we got like young people that are probably steered by the wrong kind of agent, because he seems to have been touted and moved by agents rather than potentially what he wants himself. Maybe I don't know too much about it, but you hear some horror stories about his agent.
It's Reece Oxford's agent as well.
Yeah, and he's the same. You've got two lads there. We've had a lot of potential, and I can see them just throwing their careers away because of potentially poor advice from their agent.
Yeah, well, if you listened to the cup of tea last night, no, it wasn't a cup of tea last night. I sat in my van earlier. I did a video in my van, and I predicted at lunchtime today I thought Declan Rice would be the next big deal in terms of his contract being done. So I would expect that to certainly be the case next. So a lot of these players going out, I think, and a Sanchez deal with him not being a top choice, if you like, are there to facilitate Declan's contract, and let's hope that all gets done. Anything else before I let you go, my old son?
I don't think so. I mean, Sanchez was interested in the fact we got him on a permanent with an undisclosed fee, but I wonder if some of that is going to be offset, because obviously we would have expected a fee in from Fiorentina if Fernandes goes there. So I wonder if that's a little bit of knock for knock on that, and we won't actually take much of, if he does go Fiorentina after within the next few days, whether or not we don't actually take a sum from them, but we've effectively got Sanchez. It'd be interesting to know the financial mechanics of that.
I hear the deals are separate. They've kept them separate to stop it being complicated. I think a lot of clubs do with stuff like that, particularly if there's interest from either side of a player, and I do think they do try and keep it separate when it's quite close to the deal. So yeah, that's what I've heard. But the club have leaked very, very little this transfer window, very little. You've seen a lot of it. As I say, nobody predicted that Quina thing, mate. It just happened. The Sky Sports News were literally the first people to it. So it's not been the case with West Ham previous few seasons. So I think the club, we don't know an awful lot. Right, well, listen, mate, thank you for joining us. We'll catch up in a week, I'm sure. Look forward to the have a nice weekend, and because that's coming up. We've got Friday, you got Friday, Saturday, and then of course Sunday the big game. So enjoy your weekend, mate. And actually, you can give me yours. I'm doing what's your prediction for the Liverpool game?
2-2 draw.
Very, very positive.
Yeah, hopefully we can take the positivity from the pre-season, 2-2 draw, and then rip Bournemouth a new one.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, that would be a great result. I've got to say, 2-2 draw at Anfield would be a fantastic result. Ian, thanks for joining us, mate. You're going to have to press the hang up button because I can't do it my end. It'd be very rude to kick you out. But thank you very much for joining us, my friend. Thank you. That nasty Mike.
No worries, mate.
Wasn't interested, was he? Cheers, buddy. Thanks, mate.
Yeah.
Thank you to Ian, Mr. B there. Okay, back to the chat. I think I've got a lot to get through. You lot are busy tonight, and thank you very much for joining in. Okay, so I'm still back with the old T-shirt here. Stifler, hello there, Russell. Thanks for joining us again, mate. He said, got to be Flash Gordon. And Ian Cook has said, dispatch War Rocket Ajax to bring back his body. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. That's what it is. Flash Gordon. Bit of a Flash Gordon geek. Trevor Sadowski. Yes, I think that's right. Yeah, Trevor Sadowski. You can't say the board is forgiven. World-class team for a world-class stadium was what they promised. He's absolutely right. Let's see how the team gels, but I'm looking forward to lots of attacking football. I'm with you, Trevor. Absolutely. Totally agree. Len says, my Shirley says you're as quick as a flash. Not quite sure what she's on about. She's never seen you play football. Len knows. Len knows. Me Flash Gordon T-shirt. Anyway, where are we? Oh, it's scrolled down. It's gone. It's gone. There's so much here. Mark Sherman Brown says they still have to do more in and around the stadium. Sorry if I'm not reading out everyone's comments here. It's just gone so quickly. I tell you what, Graham Perspectives made a good point. I think this is in reference to Burnley. So remember, Ipswich finished 5th. 2 good seasons, then dropped. And I think that takes it out of you. The Europa League, without a shadow of a doubt, takes it out of you and switches the focus. And I don't think they've strengthened. Doesn't mean Dyche's a bad manager, but if he does well this season, they've done very well indeed, not to be distracted. Rapinda, you're right, my friend. You are very right. Saviour of the universe. We've got the Flight Time says we have got the best manager outside of the top teams. That's our biggest asset going into this season. We would hope so. We would certainly hope so. I can't. There's a pessimist inside me, a bit of pessimism that can't quite allow myself. It's I don't know. It's something holding me back. I can't quite allow myself to believe that everything's going to be brilliant. I hope it is. I just naturally that way. I'll stiff upper lip and all the rest of it. I hope so, and I want to believe he's a class manager. Surely he is. Ben Davies says, "Lost unless we buy the stadium. There's not what they can do about it." John Hunt says, "Why are you sponsored by a toilet cleaner?" I'm sure he's being funny. Who hasn't watched Flash Gordon? I mean, come on. But Simon Kirby says Burnley have the Europa. He's saying they don't have a big enough squad. He's absolutely right. Andy Wolf said Spurs apparently the first team in Premier League history not to make a summer transfer window signing. You reap what you sow, and he hasn't sown a lot. He's tried to do it on the cheap, and this season it has bitten him on the bum. Spent a lot on Harry Kane's wages as well, and they've had a lot of players. It's been interesting. Tottenham's going to be interesting. Traditionally, players that play in the World Cup or whatever, or go away on a summer tournament, do not perform well. They're tired. Add that to the fact that they've bought no players and they're moving into a new stadium, which we know better than anyone. That's a struggle for people that do that. So there's 3 major things going against them. Be interesting to see what happens there. Right, what else have we got here? Watford, Cardiff and Huddersfield to be relegated, says David. We're just going to call him Maverick because that's a very long name. Says, we will be the owners of the stadium within 5 years. I totally agree with that, by the way. Ings to Southampton official. Sivan says, that's going to... Oh, Joe won't be happy about that. He won't be happy about that. Gary's just happy that we haven't sold any of our best players like Arnie. I don't... There's some... Yeah. There's some Newcastle gone. Maverick says. Now Ben makes a point. Now we've got a fantasy football league, so anyone that is that's not in it, join and get your team done. Because Ben Davis says he's got him in his fantasy football team, and Arnautovic. Has what's happened today in the transfer window affected your fantasy football team? Are we going to have to start swapping things around? I'm going to have to go in and change my team. I don't even have to change my team. For my predictions, just everything is going to have to change. We've got a predictor league on the forum with prizes as well, hammerschat.com, which is wherever it is up there. So if you want to join in on that, please do. Yeah, very interesting. In fact, that's going to muck up fantasy football. It's going to muck up people's accumulators, their ACCA bets. It's going to be very, very hard to predict what happens because we don't. A lot of these players that have come in, we don't know about them until we've seen a few of our own games, a few match of the days and whatnot. We're not really not going to know what's going on. Gary says Rafa and Jose to walk. Who's first? I totally agree. I wonder with this Man United thing, and we've got a Man United fan in the chat at the moment, so go easy on him. I wonder if their top-notch fella, their chief executive is called Edward Woodward, not the Equalizer, but Edward Woodward, and I just wonder if he is on purpose not bought in these players to save some money to force Jose out because Jose's on big money. I reckon it would cost 30 million or more to pay Jose off. I just wonder if he's thought, do you know what? I'm actually not going to buy a player. He's going to try and force Jose out. And there's a demeanour of a miserable man. Have we got someone? Mike, you cheeky little sausage. I can hear myself feeding through. You ain't got earphones, have you?
No, mate, can you hear me?
I can hear you, mate, but I can also hear myself back through. Anyway, what you been doing? Where's Wally? Were you Where's Wally top one?
So what happened was, I didn't know you were doing this show, right? And I was in London. I went for a couple of beers. I had a meeting. We ended up going to the pub for a couple of beers. And then I'm on the way home, and it came up on my phone. So I thought, I'll watch this on the train, going back to Hertfordshire. And then, so I made a comment. And then the next thing you're like, oh, Mike, but at that point, I couldn't work out how to comment again. And otherwise, I would have said, look, I'm not there. So I got back as quick as I could and then clicked the link, and here I am. So, sorry, I have heard the whole show.
You know when you're on the train or the bus and you get a phone call, your volume goes down a bit, doesn't you? So, you phone someone and they're on, I say, yeah, all right, yeah, no, I'm just on the bus at the moment. Yeah, no, fine. I normally say things to them. So, you know what I mean? But people are a bit more reserved, aren't they? Are you flamboyant and extrovert enough would you have done the show on the train is what I want to know.
I could have. It was a packed train. I just couldn't have done.
No, but what I'm saying, would that put you off? Would it?
No, not at all. But there were a lot of bridges and stuff, and the signals kept going out just while I was watching it. So you wouldn't have got much out of me. Do you know what I mean? It would have been, I think, and
That's
then
good.
I would have been back.
Your freeze was good.
My opinion, and it would have been, that's just rubbish, isn't it? So I've just got, as I said, just got in now. So
what did you catch? What do you know?
Oh, I saw the whole show.
No, not this. What transfer window?
Yeah, I kept on staying with it. I'm pretty much up with it.
What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are that Fulham did very well today, and so did Wolves. I think I heard what you guys were saying about. I agree with you. I think there's going to be a top three, probably City and Liverpool, and to a point Arsenal. And I think before today, I actually thought what would happen was you'd end up with a sort of top six, and then you'd have a breakaway mid-table this time, and then maybe 6 or 7 teams fighting out the bottom. But now I don't think that. I think United have had a disastrous transfer window. There's just no words going to. Even Mourinho's apoplectic about it, isn't he? I mean, it's gone horribly wrong for them, and he's really angry about it, which will feed into the players. The Pogba wants to go. They're one injury away from having a dreadful season, aren't they? If anything happens to Lukaku, they're in all sorts of trouble. I think Spurs, I don't know what they were playing. Well, they were playing at not spending any money whatsoever. I mean, they've got a really good team. But again, anything happens to Harry Kane, they're out the window, aren't they? They've got absolutely nothing else there. They were going to sell a load of players who clearly don't want to be there, and they're still there. That's not going to help either, is it? I mean, they've got a great manager, Pochettino. I think Arsenal will have a better season this season purely because they've just messed everything up so much. And then you're going to have like Everton and us, Wolves, I think more. I don't know. There are so many players coming to Wolves that you just wonder how. This is where managers matter. Do you agree? I think you've got like what's his name? Nuno Gomez, whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like the Wolves manager. He's never managed in the Premier League before. I don't know how he's going to cope with it. And then you've got obviously Slavia, who manages Fulham, who I think is a really good manager, but he's never managed in the Premier League before. And at least we've come equipped with someone who's won the bloody thing. Do you know what I mean? And an FA Cup, just into the bargain. And I think obviously Silva has as well. He's experienced now in the Premier League. So I think that will help us and Everton quite a bit, having that kind of experience at management level, because all of those teams, or Everton less so, but definitely us and Wolves and Middlesbrough, just got so many new players. It's going to be a bit
Middlesbrough.
Oh, no, not Middlesbrough, sorry. Wolves, Fulham and us. I don't know why I said Middlesbrough. I've had a couple of beers. That's why.
Yeah, there you go. Certainly have.
I think they've had so many new players come in, those three teams, as I say, including us, that how quickly can you gel them and turn them into a unit? I mean, you look at Wolves, that's the entire squad he's brought in a matter of days. You know, you look at that. You don't forget they just signed a Dama Traore. They've signed, I think, here between you and me, I think Fulham lack a striker big time. I'm not a fan of Mitrovic. I think he's a sending off waiting to happen, and he misses way more chances than he puts in. You look at Arnautovic's conversion rate last season was astronomical. We didn't create enough chances, but the ones we did, they went in. And you look at Wolves as well. Jimenez is really unproven at this level. They lack striker, but their key thing is their other midfielders. Jota, especially, almost plays a second striker, and he's very good at finding the back of the net. So they'll probably be all right. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see. There's a whole heap of teams in trouble now, though, aren't there? Do you agree?
I totally. I think it's split in two. Wolves also signed Dilly Donker. I don't know if you.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I wasn't bothered. If you heard all the show, you heard what I thought about when England reserves play Belgium reserves. I wasn't impressed at all, and that's the only time I've ever seen him play. I don't go for YouTube videos as such, and listen, I would go with a lot of our players as well, Mike. I've got to see a lot of our players, which is why you hear me getting excited about Wilshere, Fredericks, perhaps more so than some of the others. So then you're looking for little snippets and the bits. That's why we both obviously rate Balbuena highly from what we've seen. I saw a little bit of Yarmolenko, but I would worry how inactive he's been in pre-season, particularly missing the last few. The one thing I do think stands in good stead is the fact that we did bring most of our players in early, so they've had time to settle. So we've not had this mad rush. So he has had a pre-season with them. They have had a pre-season with us, where the footballing gods have gone against us slightly is, whilst that would normally act in our favour, the early fixtures have really been quite cruel. So I think if all the planets had aligned for us, we would have had all our players in early, which we did, and an easier run of fixtures at the start. So I think we could have got our players in as early as we wanted. It's not going to be easy to play Liverpool and Man City for sure.
If you'd offered me trolley dash or what we did, I would have taken what we did, because that trolley dash at Fulham and Everton, especially you've done today, has been a bit daft, hasn't it? Run round quick, have him, and they've got what, 3? It's one thing going, okay, at least they've done the transfer window, which I think is a terrific idea before the season started, because that was really undermining people. But I think they're just grabbing players, and then you've got, what, 3 or 4 days until you play, depending on what day you play on. It's just that, or 2 days, 2 or 3 days, isn't it? one day if you're Man U or Leicester, it just seems daft. But I think I know we've got appalling fixtures, haven't we? We've got to go to Liverpool and Arsenal, especially, but I wouldn't put it beyond us to get something out of the Arsenal game. I think Liverpool will be very, very hard for us to get something out of it. But then, you know, they're working in a whole load of new players. Admittedly, they're great players, but they have got to work them in as well. It'll be interesting to see. And I know you're doing the preview tomorrow, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm remaining tight-lipped. Actually, I need to say on that preview, I've been telling people it's 8:30. It won't be because we're aware there's a Premier League game. So I spoke to Gio this morning, and we're going to try and do it a little bit earlier, maybe 7:30, something like that, to, you know, so as we can do the preview and then allow everyone to watch, and ourselves. I'm interested in watching the game, actually. So, yeah, I'm going to remain tight-lipped. Anyone that's watched me or listened to me over the past 2 weeks will probably guess what I'm going to say on the preview, but you will not be. You're not on the preview, are you?
No.
Well, the floor is yours, sir.
What do I think is going to happen in this game? I think we're going to lose, but I think we'll play well. I'll be interested to see. Pellegrini really likes playing two strikers. He's made no secret about that at all. He also has this whole thing about we're going to play the way we want to play, and it doesn't matter who we're playing against, and that is borne out about his time at City and in Spain as well. He really did that to the nth degree. So it would be very, very interesting to see. We're going to turn over the tag team, whether we play 4-3-3, which we did for most of it, or 4-4-2. I mean, I've got a feeling he's going to turn up and play 4-4-2 and just go, do you know what?
Predict a team for us. Just before you do, I should probably say that Henderson is unlikely. And one of the new boys, is it Fabinho or something? Got someone called out, or is it Cato? I think Henderson, Henderson and one of the big signings, the 50 million signings, is out. So that could well be interesting. So yeah, give us a predicted Pellegrini lineup.
They've got a load of defenders injured as well.
Yes.
And so it'd be interesting to see. I think if you look at those injuries and their weakness because of injuries, I've got a feeling he'll have a go at them. I think he'll just go, if we sit back and try and defend them, because their attackers are all fit, aren't they? They're all back and playing. So I think he'll go with Fredericks at right back, probably Creswell at left back, and any of the three. Let's go with. I'll put who I think I would play. Ogbonna and Balbuena there. In midfield, I think I'll play Noble and Wilshere. And I think it depends on how fit Yarmolenko is. I'm going to assume, because he hasn't played the last 2 games because of injury, has he? So I'm going to assume he's going to start with Anderson and Antonio, Chicharito and Arnautovic.
Nice. Goalkeeper?
That is a tough call. I've got a feeling he's going to play Fabianski.
We're going to look. See, at the moment, we're just all guessing. And you're right to guess. Well, my guess would probably be no better than yours.
But he could equally play 4-3-3, just play Arnautovic up front and Declan Rice to sit in front of the back four. That would also be a very good team. I'm happy either way. And that's got to be the first time ever I've said that, because I think either way, even if he plays 4-3-3, it'll be an attacking 4-3-3, you know?
Yeah, I think you're right. We've not got, this is not David Moyes. I think again, we're guessing, but I think there's every chance that he could decide to go for it. That's been his philosophy. And we always say about Allardyce and Moyes, a leopard never changes spots. Well, we've still got a leopard, so maybe his spots are very much attacking spots. So maybe he doesn't change his spots either. Pellegrini.
So having, because when I've asked questions often on your cup of tea show, it's always been about the philosophy or the identity of the team. Do you think now, and I'm not going into that game specifically, but overall, do you think, because I really do you think we're going to see a definitive, this transfer window, and especially the arrival of Helios and Pellegrini has given us a definitive identity / philosophy?
Oh, yeah, I'm banking on it. Yeah, I believe so. I agree, and I'm banking on it. I think the club are banking on it. I think we need it. We absolutely need that. And I'd like to think the acquisitions support that. It's like I said on one of the shows the other day. And Moyes had still been here or another manager, then we'd have seen more defensive-minded midfielders coming in, or maybe the same number. I don't think we'd have seen 10 players coming in. I really don't. And I also don't think the initial signings would have been people like Wilshere, like Yarmolenko, Anderson. I don't think we'd have seen as much of those guys. So I don't think he's putting his stamp on it. And the statement to then keep Antonio, regardless of whether you think Antonio should be sold or whether you think he should be played out of position, as things stood before anyone was brought in, Antonio was our best winger. And to keep our best winger and bring other guys in, I think it's a huge shift in philosophy. And I'm you excited, Mike?
Oh, mate, I'm over the moon. I can't wait for the season to start. I mean, I'm really looking forward to seeing. I'm not going to the game sadly, but I'm looking forward to seeing us play on TV on Sunday. I'll really enjoy that. I think, and I really can't wait to go and see the team play in the flesh against Bournemouth and get on the boat, see everyone. But it's just, as you well know, and you said this to me yourself, it's been the social scene down there on the boats and that, and everyone getting together and doing videos and stuff has been way more entertaining than the actual football for the last 2 seasons. Now we're like, oh, don't tell me we might actually get entertaining football to go with that stuff. Because it'd be like, whoa, this is like, we don't deserve this. Do you know what I mean? Or actually, we do deserve it. But I mean, it's just like, I just can't believe it. You know, it's just an incredible thing to have happened for us. And you've got to give Sullivan the credit for the balls to go and get him. And relinquish control. That can't have been easy for him.
No. We may even leave the boats before 10-3.
Well done pushing, mate.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, listen, I'm going to let you go. It takes me 10 minutes to wrap these things up because I say goodbye to people in the chat and then I get sidetracked. Do you know what I mean? So I'm going to try and wrap things up now. Thanks for joining us, mate.
Weekend, mate. Have a great weekend, everyone watching.
See you soon. Thanks.